Hello everyone! It's time for a Hobonichi Weeks update. It's been about a month since I talked about my Hobonichi Weeks and some things have changed, so I thought I would just share that with you. I am currently in this Chic Sparrow in the Maverick leather. It's their weekly calendar cover. And I will talk about the setup of this traveler's notebook first, and I'll flash up on the screen the timestamp for when I actually start chatting and flipping through the Hobonichi Weeks if you want to go straight there. So I really love this weekly calendar cover. It's my favorite. It's my favorite weekly calendar cover that I own. And I don't know how I'm ever going to get out of this. Well, if I got it in a waypoint, yeah, then I would totally come out of this. So the pen that I have is still my Zebra Sarasa Dry gel pen in the 0.4. And I know I always sing the praises of this pen because I prefer gel pens, and this one dries so quickly on the Tomoe River paper. But it is not waterproof and archival quality, I believe. It's definitely not waterproof, and I'm running into some issues with that. So basically, I have a JetPens order that is processing, and I must have ordered like 8 or 9 different kinds of archival ink pens, and even the Uniball Jetstream, the Uni Jetstream in like different nib sizes to test out in here. Thank you, Danny, for that suggestion. And so I'm just going to be doing like a massive test all over again to find my perfect pen. And, you know, I'll probably do like an unboxing or some kind of video or something with that. But in here, this is so pretty. Oh my gosh. Well, so the first thing is I used to always have this Dollbirdies wallet insert in here, and it's obviously gone. So I took it out just to test and see if I really needed it. And turns out I don't really need it. This just has a lot of extras. You know, it's got the card slots here, some full-length pockets, and this whole zipper thing that I never ever used. And I had previously talked about how I didn't like that it wouldn't close flush here. And a couple of people had suggested just sewing it down this edge so that it will shut on the seam and maybe shut evenly. And obviously I never did that. My decision was just to rip this thing out of my setup. But if anybody has done that, let me know in the comments. And because that seemed like such a good idea, and you know, maybe somebody else could benefit from that. But and I didn't really prefer this pen loop either. So I just removed it, and I've been totally fine with it. I did keep 2 field notes tucked in here. So as you can see, I have one of them just in the short string. And this is the one my kids use to doodle in whenever we're out of the house waiting somewhere and they just need to kill time. All of the things that I had in these card slots, I just kind of shoved into this pocket here. And I think I may order another type of folder for in here without all this extra stuff. So that's on my, I'm considering that. So the other field notes, which I don't have another one in here, this is the one I used to have, and this is my on-the-go journal. And I would just basically write in here anytime I was out of the house, and it was mostly just stream of consciousness type stuff, but I filled this one. So this has been archived, and I didn't put another one in here because I am actually using the blank pages in the back of the Hobonichi Weeks for my on-the-go journaling. So I was trying to figure out how to use the extra pages because I thought, oh, I had plenty of year left. I'll I'm sure I will fill it up. And I just wasn't. And I thought, well, it's getting kind of late into the year now. I need to figure out something. So I started my on-the-go journaling in here, which is just like this, all in the back. And I'm absolutely loving it. And that's one of the reasons I kind of decided to try a mega weeks for next year, just to have the extra pages for journaling. So I had mentioned in another video about this that I was going to continue to decorate this, and totally have not. I'm not even worried about it. Don't even really want to do it. Still don't use this page. Now let's get to the current or last month. That was July. And so this is August, and all I did here, I had a Tim Holtz ephemera pack, and these were some old report cards and school looking things, and we started homeschooling in August. So I taped those in. And then that was it. I didn't worry about embellishing this anymore. I've kind of just fallen off the wagon for decorating my weeks, and I'm okay with that. So I do not utilize the months in here as much as I do the weekly pages, but I still do keep the month up to date, and I've gotten a little bit better at doing that because I do like to reference this, especially for future planning when I, get a phone call to make an appointment or something. I like having this up to date because it is just so helpful for that kind of thing. And so for August, let's see. Okay, so here's the beginning of my August weeks, and I had mentioned previously that I do have a lot of empty space, and what I use my Hobonichi Weeks for is strictly planning, just day-to-day planning, appointments, activities, just that kind of thing. So I'll write down appointment or activity times, and I'll leave it at that. And I don't like filling in space for the sake of filling in space. So I had done that in the past, as you can see. So I just kind of challenged myself to think about if there is anything else I could possibly use this space for that would be functional and effective for me and not just a space filler. And I was thinking about that for a little while, and I decided that in the end, what I actually started doing was using this as a planner per usual and also an inbox. So I apologize for the giant black everywhere. One of these days, I'm going to figure out how to censor information without being so garish about it. But this was the last week that I actually put down any stickers and decoration. And I just decided to drop it. Like, I just wasn't feeling it anymore. And that's not to say I won't feel it again in the future, but for now, this is just where I'm at. So what I decided to do was I started thinking about my cleaning routine. I have a bunch of things that I do on the daily that I consider daily chores that I don't have to be reminded of. But I absolutely detest having an entire day dedicated to the deeper cleaning of a home. And I've been trying to implement this for a while, but what I was trying to do was to assign a daily task for deep cleaning. So, mopping once a week, cleaning each bathroom once a week, changing the sheets once a week, and just getting into a routine about that. So I kind of have that written out here because I was brainstorming about it. And what I decided to do was write down one of those sort of deep cleaning tasks each day and figure out a way to incorporate like 15 to 30 minutes of the deep cleaning a day so that the house is constantly in a state of clean and is easy to maintain, and that I don't have to give up a day or two every few weeks to just massively clean the house. And also I always like have dreamed of having my house in a state where anybody could show up at any time and I won't freak out about it. Because I swear, when anybody says, oh, we'll come by, or, we'll come by this weekend, and one of the first things I always think is, oh my God, I gotta clean this house. And okay, I need to like divvy up the tasks this week so that I don't do it all on the day before, they arrive. And I just don't want to have those thoughts anymore. And I will say, this has been going beautifully. I'm really happy with it. So I have just started writing out the major cleaning task each day until it becomes routine enough for me that I don't have to write it down. And the other thing is, this is really the only notebook that I have out of the house with me. I do keep a pocket size, but it's strictly just my wallet. There's a notebook in there, but it's for grocery lists. So I have some family members that have recurring like medical things and medical appointments and that sort of thing. And I do keep a traveler's notebook to track that kind of stuff for this member of my family. But I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could just, while I'm in the moment, in that appointment, I can write down the notes in here and it would be really fresh in my mind, and I won't have to worry about at the end of the day trying to remember everything that happened. And so that has been really helpful to do in here, is write down all of the notes I need to take when they're fresh in my mind and I have all of the details readily available to me. And then I just sort of transcribe everything once I am home and settled at the end of the day. So that has been great. And then also, in one of my other traveler's notebooks, I said that I had at one point a field notes tucked into the front cover that I was using to track some health things for my kids, like when they get sick and that kind of thing. And I thought I should probably do that in here. And so I swear, the weather dropped, like the temperature dropped 5 degrees one day as fall is approaching, and like everybody in my house got sick. Not bad, just like a little cold and some congestion and stuff. And so I got the opportunity to jot down, symptoms and that kind of thing. And we all got hit pretty bad during last Christmas with the flu. And at one point I had to take someone to the emergency room because I just got a little worried. And I remember thinking, I wish I had documented when such and such symptom began, how like long the fever lasted, and just those kinds of details. And so I've just been trying to keep track of those things ever since then. And this has been amazing for that as well. And I'm putting a lot of stuff in here, but I haven't actually organized the layout of everything because it's still a fairly new process. So that's what I will currently be working on, is how I want to section out the spread for that kind of thing. And just right here, I journal to my kids, and I have for a little while, but I hadn't been doing it very frequently. And so one of my great big ideas was to get them each their own Hobonichi Weeks for me to journal in to them. And the idea is that at the end of their time with me, when they go off and have their own lives, I will sort of present them with stacks of these journals, and it'll just be from me to them, and it'll just be my perspective throughout their whole lives, or just from this year forward. And I thought that a Hobonichi Weeks would be a good format for me to be able to do that daily. And so I was kind of testing that out right here since I had the space. And spoiler, it is fantastic as well. So I will update about journaling to my kids in a video as well. So that's where I'm at the moment. I'm really glad to be utilizing the space in here a lot more. I haven't put my to-do list down in a couple of weeks, but I'm sure that will come back. It's just kind of been a little chaotic and in flux at the moment. So once things settle down, I'll get a more proper layout for everything. So in the back here, I have this section. So the first thing I had was a master to-do list, which was quickly abandoned. And then I also had a master goals list. And I put these in here right when I got this Hobonichi because I was kind of at a loss for what to do with these back pages. And turns out that that's not what I needed to be doing. And then I also had this homeschooling tracker, and what happened was, obviously I don't use it, but it was a bit too bullet journal-y for me, and I didn't like having to draw out the lines, and then putting the dates here seemed redundant because the dates are already right here. So whenever we're out of the house and there is a learning opportunity or something educational, I will just jot it down in here as well. And I won't have this separate section. And then in my homeschooling traveler's notebook, I will just transfer that information once I'm home. And there's so much learning that happens all day out of the house. And I think all learning counts, even if it's not, a formal lesson or in a formal setting. So I like to get in the habit of jotting those things down. And that is pretty much it. I hope to fill in the rest of these back pages with journaling for the rest of the year. And I've mentioned before that I was thinking about getting the Hobonichi Weeks Mega for 2019, and I was eyeing the sneaker, the matte black one. That's the one I was after. And it turns out I didn't end up getting that one. I actually got I'm gonna butcher this because I do not know Japanese, but it's the Yamazakura or Yamazakura. And it's the one that has the that like pencil sketch drawing of I believe it's like the cherry blossom, and it is so gorgeous. I was so surprised as I was scrolling through, and that one, it came into view and my jaw just dropped, and I thought, oh my gosh, I need that one right away. And I just kind of said goodbye to the extra pages in the Mega Weeks because I was going with the Yamazakura one. And I'm actually really glad because I ordered it through an Etsy seller in Japan. And when the 2019 Hobonichi store opened, by the time I got on there, that version of the Weeks, the Yamazakura one, it was completely sold out. And I would have been so devastated because I was looking forward to that one for days. So I'm really happy that I snagged one of those. I'm curious to know if you guys are going to be using the Hobonichi Weeks next year, and if you've already bought yours and which one you decided on. And let me know down in the comments, because I've become like such a huge Hobonichi obsessed person, like just recently, especially after using this for like 5 months, and I'm like, ooh, what else is there? In fact, I also ordered the A6 Hobonichi, and yeah, I don't even know why. I've got some plans for it, but we'll see. But yeah, if that just shows you how crazed I am about this. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye.